All right, everyone, welcome back to Serve, presented by Chase. Okay, JW, you don't know this. Let's see how good you are off the cuff. I don't know what this segment's going to be. I think we've written down all of our good stuff. We've already gotten through our legal pads. Dealer's choice. What are we talking about in segment 4?
Oh, man. Carlos Alcaraz, he won the tournament.
We've talked about that. No, but we talked about that already.
Okay, what about this? You know what a good tournament? College tennis.
Nice one. Well done.
College tennis has a lot of good tournaments these days for a lot of reasons. One of them is that the playing careers are getting longer, so there's now new incentive to go to college and also have a backup plan. But college tennis is such a force in this sport right now. And it used to be mostly in doubles, no longer. There was a point this weekend, middle weekend, 3 players from one school, UVA, Emma Navarro, Daniel Collins, Brandon Nakashima, were all in the draw. Ben Shelton had a very nice tournament. Again, all over the double trot. I would go a step further. Martina has a whole, Lulu Sun, who made the middle weekend, was a breakthrough star, beat Raducanu. She played number 3 at Texas. So you don't even have to be the star of your college team. Martina's point, which I think is interesting, is that college players play singles and doubles. So you have all of these doubles players who went to college, but more importantly, the singles players, they know how to volley. They know how to hit overheads. Martina's point is that even when you warm up, you can tell which players have been working on their lobs and overheads and play doubles, which haven't. College players understand rowdy environments. They don't mind when the fans are very close to the court or when they're shouting epithets or when they have flags of the opposing player. I also have noticed that college players are everywhere, not just on the court. A lot of agents went to college. A lot of coaches went to college. Emma Navarro's coach, for example, played at Duke in the 90s. There are college coaches who are, college players that are now trainers. So the impact of college tennis on this sport, not just in the doubles draw, which is what it was about 10 years ago, but throughout this whole ecosystem, I think is something that's positive, and I think it's something we probably ought to talk about more. There are a lot of angles to this. A lot of these players are not necessarily American, which I know is an issue with some people, but big days for college tennis.
All right, let's distill this concept down into a question. Is college with NIL, et cetera, basically just the minor league system for the tours now, or for coaching, or for anything else? There is a payment situation. You play in small markets until you play in big markets. There is a logical path if you're not ready when you're 17 or 18 years old. This is basically just a minor league system that you have to, go to class every once in a while for too.
And if the answer is sure, so what? I mean, I feel like, we were all creatures of incentives. And I think some players are going because they want to read Sophocles and take, introduction to gender studies. I think a lot of them are doing it with their tennis in mind. And you're right. It's not just NIL, which I think is probably exaggerated in non-revenue sports.
I agree.
I don't think too many, TCU tennis players are driving Florida football Lamborghinis. But I think the real money is in the training. Someone else pays for your travel. Hey, I broke a string on my racket. I don't have to pay the $50. I've got players to hit with. I've got my transit paid for. If my coach sucks and it's a bad situation, if I'm playing challenge, I'm in Tegucigalpa and I've got to figure out a way home. If I'm in a terrible college situation, you know what I do? I transfer. And next semester, I'm playing somewhere else where they're also giving me free travel and training and rackets and massages and health insurance. I think it's probably, as an economic, you'd hope it doesn't crassly become this transactional. But even if we're just limiting this to economics and this is a better paying minor league, I still think it's a force of good.
Oh, I thought I had you. And then you went and said everything that I wrote down. Damn it.
See?
This is a scholarship.
I've never worked with this man.
This is a scholarship to IMG Academies. Training, everything else, everything that you just said is the benefit of college tennis. And weirdly, you look at what federations have created versus what college tennis has created, and it becomes a very, very interesting conversation on where and how and when. And frankly, if you take people, and there are enough talented ones, and you put them in a very focused environment, players will come out. Players will come out. You're going to have Emma Navarro. You're going to have Danielle Collins. You're going to have John Isner, who is, by the way, going to be the guest on our show next week. So I want to have an in-depth, and probably no better voice in tennis, or one of the better ones, to talk about the differences between tour, college, why that path was good for him. Curious to hear his thoughts on it as well. Thought I was going to stump you. I didn't know what you were coming with in segment 4. I think this is a very, very, very interesting conversation that was right there for all to see in this Wimbledon, in this fortnight with Lulu Soon. Little deceiving because Peyton Stearns was the best player in the country and she played behind her. So there were just multiple stars on that team, JW. But great job from the Tennis Channel desk. Good job as always with your interviews. We appreciate your thoughts and insights. I do think there is a longer form conversation about the college tennis. Maybe we'll do it next week with John Isner. He is coming on, so we will see you next week. JW, safe flight home. This has been Serve, presented by Chase. Like, follow, subscribe on all of the things. Thank you for listening.